brothers and sisters, in a few hours in Australia it's going to be the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah as they say, the day of the shout. I want to encourage you all just to come together in sincerity and truth. That's what we were instructed to do for the Feast of Passover, that whole season of Passover. Do not eat of the bread and the cup unworthily. Come together in sincerity and in truth. Your behaviour should be sincere and truthful. There doesn't need to be grand prayers and grand, sermons and speeches and teachings and lessons, and you can do all that in your own time and study and, show yourself approved in your behaviour and your lifestyle to Yahushua. That's all for you to do. That's your relationship. I mean, when you come together, if you have anybody nearby that wants to come together with you or you them, what is it we're supposed to do? Are we supposed to go out on our balconies and blast a ram's horn to make weird, freakish, fools of ourselves? Is that what we're supposed to do? Or are we supposed to understand the essence, the heart of the instruction, and how much Yahushua breathed life into his everlasting blood covenant? We don't have to go out and sacrifice lambs anymore at Passover, do we? And that's not abolished, but Yahushua's breathed life into it and became the Lamb himself. He never abolishes anything. He never does away with anything, but through his breathing life into an instruction, into a feast, into a prophecy, he fulfills things. He breathes life into it and transforms it. The act of circumcision doesn't have to be done in our flesh now, because he does it of our hearts. So likewise in these latter feasts, we don't have to go out and build big structures to watch them die over the course of 7 days. We don't have to build a sukkah. We don't have to go and blow ram's horns, because Yahushua has breathed life into that too. He hasn't physically come back yet, I'm aware of that, but we know what's going to happen. It's a few hours, like I said, till Trumpets, guys, in Australia. What if Yahushua comes back this year? This is when he's supposed to come back, isn't it? On this day, the great and awesome day of Yahuwah, when the sun will go dark and the moon will glow red, reapers will attack the earth, fire will cleanse the earth, and Yahushua will gather his bride. The dead will rise, and 10 days later the first fruits will be transformed in the twinkle of an eye. Isn't that what we're looking forward to, guys? So I want to encourage you to come together in sincerity and truth. You don't have to come together with all the prayers and sermons and all that jazz. Come together just to be together. That's what you come together for, isn't it? To love one another and just be who you are. If you're going through dramas, go through dramas. Speak your heart, speak your truth, be real. Don't just be fake for the sake of religious ceremony and ritual. That's not what Yahushua wants. He wants a bride that's passionate and real for him. So, just as we were told in Passover, come together in sincerity and truth, come together and just be real. That's for those of you who can gather together. For those of you who have husbands and wives, or have a small group that can gather together, that's great. But most of us are scattered across the earth. Yahushua's bride has been scattered across the four corners of the earth. We don't have to gather together, brothers and sisters. We don't have to find each other, gather together to each other, move over to Jerusalem. We don't have to do all that insanity. We are called to come out of the Babylonian captivity-ish mindset that we've been brought up in. Come out of the beastly behaviour. That's our job. That's why we've been called, to overcome this world, brothers and sisters. So if you are alone, if you are feeling it right now, if you are isolated, if you've been ostracised from whatever assembly you were in, they've all bad-mouthed you and persecuted you and, told lies about you because you have discovered the name of Yahushua, or you just choose to be alone, rejoice. You're supposed to be where you're supposed to be right now, and if you're alone and you're going through trials and pressures and the test pit, then that's where you're supposed to be right now, brothers and sisters. So embrace it. Don't be depressed. Don't be down, because not having other people around you makes it easier to draw closer to 𝗬𝗓𝗓. Not having other people around you. I mean, that's the thing. Religion teaches us we have to gather together. We have to be with other like-minded people, if you can find any. That's not how 𝗬𝗓𝗓 works. He brings us out into the wilderness, and even though we might have people around us, even though we might have believers around us, this walk is alone. Your path, you walk it alone, inside yourself, with your thoughts, checking your thoughts, overcoming in your behaviour. Should I say that? Should I say this? You know, am I taking this behaviour from that person personally? Why am I taking it personally? Why won't I just let them be who they are? Let them have it. Am I making excuses inside myself so I can get away with what I want to get away with? 𝗬𝗓𝗓 knows all this, brothers and sisters. So the main purpose of this short video is just to encourage you that if you're alone and you can't gather together with anybody, that's wonderful. We're all here in spirit together. 𝗬𝗓𝗓's moving amongst his bride at the same time, and he's putting everybody through the exact same thing, whether they've got husbands, wives, families, or whether they're alone. He's got you on a training path, and he knows exactly how to get your attention in your day for you. Not so that you can read the scriptures back 4,000 years ago and say, oh, well, they wore robes and they wore 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗖𝗛 and they came together and they slaughtered an animal and they blew a ram's horn, so we have to do all that too. No, because 𝗬𝗓𝗓 has brought life into the situation. So if you're going to go and blow shofars and set up structures and do all this religious hullabaloo, you might as well include cutting the skin off your willies and sacrificing a lamb there as well, because you're just not understanding the context. If you're going to really understand the context, you realise that 𝗬𝗓𝗓's done it all. And the bits that he hasn't done, he's about to do. Any day now, any year now, the sky will go dark. So, and we understand that. So the training now is in your behaviour. Nothing outward pleases 𝗬𝗓𝗓. Nothing outward. The clothes you wear, the things you do. You know, it's nothing outward. Our worship is not. Our worship is our behaviour, and our behaviour starts in your altar, in your vessel, your temple, your heart, and it's behaved through your vessel. So, brothers and sisters, just be strong. Stay strong. We've got some amazing videos that are in the pipeline coming, and so it's all very exciting times we're living in, brothers and sisters. So enjoy the feast. Come together and enjoy it. If you can't come together with anybody, just enjoy it between you and 𝗬𝗓𝗓. That's all you really want anyway, isn't it? You and 𝗬𝗓𝗓. It's wonderful. And just understand. You know, I'm not going to go into all the teachings and stuff about trumpets and the Day of Atonement and the week of booths, Sukkoth. You can look all that stuff up and get everybody's take on it. There's real highfalutin technical stuff to learn, and there's just easy, simple instruction to learn as well. But the most important thing is to understand you live in the 21st century, and what does 𝗬𝗓𝗓 want from you? He wants your attention and he wants your love, just like a husband and a wife does in the natural. Attention and your love. You know, your husband and wife in the natural, if you're going to celebrate a wedding anniversary, they don't want you to reenact the first day you met. They don't want you to reenact your wedding day, reenact your honeymoon, reenact any other stuff. They just want to look in your eyes and see that you love them, that spark is there. So, brothers and sisters, enjoy it. Come together and worship. Worship is through your behaviour, in sincerity and truth. You don't have to have a plan. You don't have to have a schedule. You know, eat what you want to eat, drink, be merry, because 𝗬𝗓𝗓 might come back in a few hours, guys. Wouldn't that be amazing if 𝗬𝗓𝗓 came back in a few hours? Love you guys. Party on.